Greetings. This video is about construction. This video is about the difference between working under the table and working on the clock. I mean, getting paid by the job and getting paid by the hour. The work ethic is a lot different. You know, working on the side and you getting paid by the job because you gotta finish the job. But when you getting paid by the hour, there be people milking it, killing time. You know, you got your lazy workers. You got unions though that back you up. But with those jobs that get paid by the job, the contracting jobs, the work style is different. It's nothing personal. It's just business. I've worked all the way from Atlanta, all the way down to California. When I was in Atlanta, I was working under the table, but I was still working. You know, I did a lot of flooring jobs. I worked flooring. I took out I put tile. You know, I did some roofing. You know, I did whatever I could do, pressure wash houses. Whatever I tried to do to make money. But also, I worked for a company in Colorado, Utah, and I was in the middle of the desert. I worked in the middle of the desert. My car ran out of gas in the desert because how I used to fill up gas, as I used to fill up when it was all the way on E, but now when it goes like to half tank, I fill that baby right back up. It's not good running out of gas in the middle of the desert. But luckily, you know, the power plant I was working at was close by. It was like 5 or 6 miles away. Maybe 10 miles. I don't remember, but I remember that I ran out of gas. It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy times. But the weather's hot. The weather was hot in the desert. Hot. In the summertime, like 115, 16, 17, all the way up to 120 degrees in the summertime. Crazy. Being out there by 7 o'clock in the morning, you are so drained. Your body is wiped out. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning feels like a 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a summer day. That's how freaking hot it was. You know, I even worked in Vegas too. That was under the table. I worked in Vegas, and what I was doing in Vegas is I was taking you know, when someone moves out of a place but they leave their furniture, I don't know what that's called, but what I was doing is I was going place to place, and I was just taking the trash out, like the couches, the beds, just stuff that they didn't want anymore because they was too lazy to throw it away. I mean, people do it. I mean, it happens, but yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do to make it. So I was doing all kinds of work. You know, just working under the table and working on the clock is different. I wouldn't mind in the future like taking like a real estate class, get my real estate license, because I know a lot of construction workers. I know a lot of welders. I know a lot of fitters. I know a lot of pipe fitters. I know a lot of electricians. I got friends who's electricians over the years. You know, I mean, everybody's trying to get their hustle on with this construction. You know, be nice to get a real estate license. You know, so I can start doing homes. That'd be nice, really nice. You know, it's just talk. Just this video, I'm just ranting, really just ranting. You know, but yeah, I mean, I had a couple ideas. Always wanted to do heavy machinery too. Get my CDL for like heavy machinery. Not diesel. I don't want to do like diesel trucks. I want to do like those big contractor trucks with the big tires. I always wanted to drive one of those. But yeah, I mean, you always, like, in this game, in this construction game, you always gotta keep learning. Always keep learning. You don't want to get stuck doing one thing. You see these old timers, they get stuck doing one thing, and you see them in their 60s. Like, there's this one time where I was working at this elementary school, and what we was doing, we was running wires to for the intercoms for the elementary school. And I seen this bricklayer walking around in there. He was an old timer, but this guy, his back was in bad shape. I'm not hating on that trade, but that's one trade that I probably was afraid to get in, was bricklaying, because, you know, the always bending over picking up bricks all day. I mean, that's not, I don't know, I'm not hating. It's not something I would want to do. I'd probably get bored fast of doing that. But yeah, I mean, they're working under the table is a lot different than working on the clock, because you gotta you gotta have your own health insurance. You just gotta be stable, because there's a lot of shady characters in these under the table jobs. Like, there was this time where when I was working on doing tile back in Atlanta, there was this guy. I could tell he didn't like me because I felt his energy. I felt you could feel when somebody don't like you. And he wanted me to cut like a piece of tile, but we had nothing to hold it. We had nothing to cut it on. So he wanted me to hold it, and he was gonna get the Sawzall and cut it with me holding it, the thing in my hands. I'm like, fuck that, you got me fucked up. I knew deep down inside that he was planning something. I felt that the tension is real. The tension is real. Like, he could have cut my finger off or something like that. But yeah, I was like, nah, I'm good. Yeah, I mean, you can't trust anybody in these type of trades. Even regular trades, I mean, even on the clock trades too. Like, I seen times where guys would go up 15, 20 feet on a ladder, and you're supposed to have somebody holding the ladder for you all the way at the bottom, and he's on his phone. He's not even holding the ladder. You know, you get these crazy characters at these jobs, you know. And I even worked at warehouse jobs too, where like guys was like horse playing, doing donuts on a forklift and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta be careful, because safety, you know, safety is they care, but at the same time, your life comes first, because you never know, anything could happen. You got to take these type of jobs seriously. You know, I always was a hands-on person ever since I was a teenager. You know, I had a job. I've been working since I was a teenager, and hands-on work was always my thing. But at the same time, as you get older, you start getting wiser, and you want to do more mental work too. You know, there's things that I want to do more mentally instead of tearing up my body, so you know, career can last longer. Your career is a lot less when you're always doing hands-on work. You know, who knows what the journey's gonna take me next, but I hope I can get my real estate license. That'd be nice. Just getting in, just learning new things. You know, there's not, I don't have experience in that field, but I'm interested to know like new things, because my mindset, like once I learn something and I master, I'm good at it. That's how I am. I got that gift. But yeah, I mean, you know, you just gotta keep expanding your learning ability, especially in construction. Keep expanding, keep learning, keep always growing. Never stop. Especially if you're a welder, you gotta keep, once you turn into a welder, you gotta keep learning all types of different types of styles of welding. You gotta learn how to TIG, MIG, and stick. You gotta learn how to do all of them. You gotta not be afraid to learn something new. You always gotta keep learning, because the more you know, the longer you'll last, especially when it comes to layoffs too. Especially when it comes to layoffs, you want to be the jack of all trades. Just keep expanding. But these jobs, you know, they look for a lot of people. They look for people. You just gotta keep learning. You know, you get a lot of haters at these jobs too. You know, a lot of these old timers don't respect the younger generation a lot of times, because the younger generation, they take things different than the older generation. The older generation, they're more like, they like offense. You know, it's crazy. They like to offend you. Like they like to talk a lot of shit. That's the older generation. But this newer generation, they don't take shit. They don't take it. They'll talk back. And I respect that. I respect the newer generation. The newer generation is smart. They want to be free. There's nothing wrong with being a blue collar worker, but freedom is better. Freedom is better. If a little 7 or 8 year old can make a YouTube video dancing a baby shark, why not? Why can't I do that? But yeah, I mean, I respect the newer generation. You know, I'm not hating on the newer generation. The older generation don't like the newer generation because the newer generation want to be financially free. And not every older generation don't like that. But yeah, I mean, being financially free is good. It's good. It's a blessing because you can enjoy your life. If you get paid doing YouTube videos, TikTok, doing TikTok dances, I mean, it's crazy. It's insane. Times has changed. It's like you kind of gotta have a creative mind on whatever you do. Just always be productive and creative. But always keep learning, because these construction jobs, I mean, they only teach you so much, but you should never stop learning. You should always learn something new. Always challenge yourself. Always challenge yourself. Because the opportunities are always out there. being stuck with one trade, it's fine, but it was fine like 10 years ago. But you got to learn more than one trade, because there's layoffs, and these jobs, these employers, they try to belittle you and stuff like that. You always got to expand your options. You always got to have that mindset like, yeah, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep doing me. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm not going to stop. And you should never stop. And you should never feel discouraged either, because you know how much you can do. I'll do anything working under the table. Working under the table isn't bad. You just got to have the right resources and the right connections. And you got to make sure the person who's paying you is legit. You know, because that's the risk of working under the table. Because if you work under the table, they I don't know, they don't have to pay you, or they could short you, you know, all kinds of things. But yeah, money over everything. Money over everything when it comes to business. Facts over feelings. Feeling is real. Working under the table, working on the clock, doing whatever you can to survive. And it doesn't have to be like for long term. You always got to have an exit strategy with anything you do. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of these YouTubers that make YouTube videos, and they're afraid of being their account getting shut down. Like, why? It's just like a regular job. Like, if you lose your job, you lose your job. Find another one. But that's where you come in and have an exit strategy. You don't depend on just one resource. You gotta have a next step. It's a stepping stone. You always gotta prepare for the next thing. You know, you never rely on one thing. Like, for me, if I got monetized on this YouTube, I wouldn't depend on just YouTube. I can't. You can't depend on one thing anymore. Even if you work like fast food and stuff like that, you can't depend on just that. You got to keep doing other things. You got to keep moving. You got to keep moving, because it's all about the hustle now. It's all about the hustle. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with school, but right now, trade school is where it's at. Trade school is where it's at. It depends on what you want to do. You just got to keep moving forward and keep doing what's best for you. Don't ever stop. Keep moving forward. These opportunities are always out here. I was on a live and a guy was talking about milking the system. I'm good on that. I don't want nothing from the system. I want to make my own money. I don't want to depend on anybody. The moment you start depending on people, the less respect they have for you. The more you start doing your own thing, the more people respect you, because they don't have to depend on you. And that's one thing that I refuse to do, is depend on somebody else. I don't care how hard my situation is. I'ma always keep pushing it. Always keep pushing it. And in that live, they wouldn't let me express. They wouldn't let me express how I felt. You know, they didn't see my point of view of it, but it's okay. Everybody has their own title to their own opinions, but sometimes you should fall back and understand where I'm coming from, because I grew up poor, and I didn't have a lot of money. My family didn't have a lot of money, and I hated my situation. But that's neither excuse. That's neither excuse. You know? Don't let excuses stop you from moving forward. Excuses are excuses. That's all I'm saying. And you always gotta have opportunities. You always gotta keep pushing yourself. Always keep pushing yourself, no matter what. No matter what. Especially me. You know, my family didn't look out for me. I did everything by myself. I did what I could. You always gotta keep pushing yourself, because people won't respect you if you're a beggar. The best thing you can do is just keep learning. Keep learning and keep growing. And it never stops. Keep the hustle going.